What comes next for the Orlando Magic? How does this team evolve? And what will Jamal Mosley do next with this team? Our conversation with Ryan Kaminsky continues next on Locked On Magic.
You are Locked On Magic, your daily Orlando Magic podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And you are indeed Locked On Magic. Today is November 14th, 2025. My name is Philip Rossman-Reich. I'm the senior writer over at OrlandoMagicDaily.com, credentialed member of the Orlando Magic media since the 2012 season. On today's episode of Locked On Magic, this is part two of my conversation with Ryan Kaminsky of Magic on SI, as well as the I'm blanking on the name of his second outlet, the Breaking RK, as well as Breaking RK, outlet as well. Truly appreciate Ryan for giving me his time as I was editing the podcast. I did the addendum at the beginning with Paolo Banchero and the breaking news there. As I was editing the podcast, I realized this thing's over an hour long. You don't want to sit here for an hour at a time. You want 30-minute bites. That's kind of the whole goal of this podcast network. So we're splitting the episode in two. I can't hold it. We're going to have to power through here so you get a little pregame listening too. It's not just morning listening. You get pregame listening. This post should be up at around noon on Friday. So give you a little extra Locked On Magic this day. Before we get to that conversation, though, we want to thank you again for making Locked On Magic part of your day every day. No matter when you listen to us, whether it's first thing in the morning, whether it's right when we upload, we truly appreciate you. Making Locked On Magic part of your day every day. You can make Locked On Magic even bigger part of your day by being one of our Orlando Magic dailies, one of our everydayers. That means you're listening 5 days a week. That means you're listening when we do bonus episodes like this one, like the one we'll do after the game tonight against the Brooklyn Nets. It means we're your first listen of the day. We truly appreciate you making Locked On Magic part of your day every day. We truly thank you for making the Locked On Podcast Network the #1 sports podcasting network in the entire podcasting world. Truly appreciate all the support. The Locked On Podcast Network, it's your team every day. Today's episode of Locked On Magic is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5. And if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Head to FanDuel.com to get started. I don't want to take up too much time. I recapped the Paolo Banchero news on part 1 of this episode. If you did not listen to part 1, hit pause, go into our archives. It should be the first episode before this one. In this episode, we dive into how the Magic are going to evolve next. We talk a lot about pace. In the last episode, we talked about what went right with the Magic, what's going wrong. We dive a little bit deeper into the playbook in this episode. So I do thank you for letting me nerd out a little bit, talk a little bit about it, but I think it's still approachable. So without any further ado, let's get back to it with Ryan here on Locked On Magic. I guess this is the next place to go then. Obviously, again, we're recording this at about 3:30 now, Eastern time. No news about Paolo. I'm going to check my phone real fast to make sure there's no news on Paolo. I'm not seeing anything.
Yeah, it feels like Paolo, his passing.
Oh, there, no, we
is,
do
nice.
We do have news. So breaking news, which I already reported at the start of the show. Paolo Banchero confirmed left groin strain, so no tear. He'll be out Friday. Return will be dependent on treatment. So expect Paolo to be out for a little bit. Like he's probably not playing. He's not playing Friday. I would doubt he plays Sunday. I would kind of doubt he's going to play Tuesday or Thursday. Let's give him
Warriors on Tuesday.
I know, Warriors on Tuesday.
That's a big one.
Draymond loves playing Paolo.
Well, that's good news relatively, because I was expecting a month or two.
Yeah, like, I mean, what Fred Katz said on The Athletic, Fred Katz spoke to Paolo on The Athletic and said, and Paolo told him, you know, if they told me if it was a tear, I wouldn't be able to do anything. So I'm able to do things. So that's good news. This is not something you want lingering. So here's the question. How does this team change with Paolo out? Like what do they have to adjust and change without this really big weapon available to them?
Yeah. And, you know, we were just talking about some of it, but, you know, immediately We've seen Anthony Black do a lot of spot starting so far, but that's more on the perimeter. Do we see Franz slide up and him come out there? I think I would lean towards a little bigger option like De Silva, or maybe even Isaac or Noah Penda, just to kind of throw a little wrinkle out there defensively with the starting unit. But it definitely means Franz is your number one option, and Bane might be your number one option at this point. But you have your two leading guys, and then from there you still have Suggs and Black to help initiate and create offense. Because you don't have the luxury of always having one of these stars in at every time anymore. So definitely think it means a lot. Like maybe it looks a little bit more like the month without Paolo last year, where we saw just heavy dosage of Franz Wendell pick and roll. But now we got Bane in the mix, so we do have, they will probably run a lot more Bane on ball, and I just want to see more off ball stuff with Bane and Suggs. I think to really stretch the floor that way and just arrive at a system that is closer to the Warriors than the Nuggets, but maybe that's just wishful thinking with the way personnel kind of works and the way the coaching is set up and all that. But I just kind of want to see them unlock more of that off-ball half-court gravity. But they do so much drive and kick with pick and roll already, so it's like they're not far off. They just kind of go about it a different way.
It feels just so much about like getting teams in rotation. Just like getting teams to collapse and reveal something. And, I'm curious what you think about this theory. Like, as Bane was struggling to get his shots, this thought kept coming across my mind is like, look, at some point, no one plays 82 games. Like, it's very hard to play 82 games in this league. I don't want this to happen because I'm a little worried about the depth of scoring if Paolo or Franz had to miss games. But this could kind of be a little bit of a blessing because like we saw last year, puts the ball in Franz's hands a lot more. We get to see him blossom as a number one guy. He's kind of forced to do things he's uncomfortable with. I know a lot of fans complain that Franz is just standing in the corner doing nothing. That can't happen anymore. I almost feel like Paolo being out now forces Desmond Bane to be a little bit more selfish, to ensure that he gets a shot up. And I had the feeling watching some of these early games that Bane is trying to fit into a group that's already established. And look, teams are defending him like crazy. Like Bane may not have been getting a three-pointer up, but every team the Magic have faced so far is terrified of his shooting. They do not want him shooting. And they're working overtime. And one of the reasons, like, Bane's been better about this recently, he's had games of 6, 7, 6, and 8 assists over the last 4 games. That's not something that we were seeing from like Tavius Caldwell-Pope isn't doing that. But Bane is now has a lot more aggressive mindset, and I think this will help him get more shots. He's gonna have the ball in his hands a lot more, and so I think this will help him. I think it'll help Jalen a little bit as his minutes begin to increase to be more assertive on the ball.
Absolutely, I think that's spot on, and I'm right there with you with kind of how Bane approach has changed a little bit since he got here. It felt like that old school point guard that could score and was like, I'm just going to pick my spots and wait till the end and then take over the game if I need to. And I really think ultimately, like, this offense will be at its best when he's just unlocked as this flamethrower that is unconscious and shoots first. Like, don't worry about getting the offense set up. Do that after. Like, if you have the shot, take the shot. And I asked him roughly about this after his big shot because, as you mentioned, like, that game, he was 0 for 5 from 3. Like, he was missing his first couple threes. He started to hunt his mid-range pull-up, his floater, the pick and roll with Wendell, where he has really nice chemistry so far with Wendell. You mentioned the assist so far. Like, he's hitting wraparound passes. Like,
look, when we say take shots, like, shoot first, absolutely. But, like, that's also because you trust him not to take bad shots. Like, he's not going to just, his definition of a good shot is different than a lot of players' definition of a good shot, but he's not going to take an objectively bad shot because he's looking to make the right play, and you want him to keep that mindset, but you want him to get his looks and get his shots up, because that's why he's here, and that's what this offense is designed to get him, or hopefully designed to get him.
Yeah, exactly. You would hope that, like, as the best, most efficient 3-point shooter, you want to kind of test the limits of that volume because this team desperately needs a shooting valve so badly like that. And if you're running everything on the ball through his pick and roll, that's not necessarily his mindset every time. He mentioned when I asked him about it, he's not going into like a play with a predetermined mindset. Like he's trying to make the right play, and a lot of times that'll be a pump fake and a drive and kick for a good to great shot. But I think like he's playing the right way, and we're just also at the point where like the best shot is almost always going to be him shooting in some capacity if he's open, or like that's one of the best options every time for this team. Like the good to great shot is just him taking the three himself a lot of the times. And because like you mentioned, he can make so many tough angles, tough versions of it. He can do it on the ball, off the ball, running off a screen. Like there's very few shooters that are that versatile, that efficient on high volume, and you could basically see an entire offense revolving around him like he's Ray Allen if they wanted to use him that way, like prime Ray Allen, not even just like off LeBron Ray Allen. Like you can use him in all these different ways. So I think unlocking that high volume for him is key, and Suggs too, to like a 1A 1B type of degree. Like I think if you can get them launching a lot of like good looks from three a game, however you create them, whether it's Franz Wendell pick and roll, whether it's a stagger screen or a double drag or horns where one of them's coming in to pop off of it. So the inverted screens work better with like a Franz or a Paolo coming downhill off of it with one of them popping out. So you could see something like that. But you know, that's the first, that like if we're gonna fix the team's spacing, which has been historically bad for like last year, with one or two guys, it's got to be those guys and like a Jace Richardson or a Jet Howard like shooting a high volume of threes, because on average the other guys are also capable, and you want everyone to take the open shot, but I don't think it has to be like a Spurs team first style system every single time out. Like we know who the best scorer and shooter is. Let's unlock him.
You want a by committee mindset, but the offense can't be by committee. Like the top
Right.
guys got to get their stuff.
Yeah, next man up when someone's out, but like let's play through the best man like while they're out there.
But first, today's episode of Locked On Magic is brought to you by our friends over at Drip Drop. When I'm hydrated, everything just works better. My focus, energy, mood, even my skin. That's why I've been using Drip Drop. It's doctor-developed hydration that keeps me running at full power no matter what my day looks like. Drip Drop is not your average sports drink. It delivers 3 times the electrolytes and half the sugar of leading brands using a science-backed formula trusted by medical professionals, firefighters, and more than 90% of top college and pro teams. Hydration is non-negotiable. Like I've been sick all week. You can tell by my voice. I'm getting better. I think I'm getting better. Cracked right there, but getting better. Staying hydrated is so key to getting through your day. Drip Drop helps me feel sharper, calmer, and honestly, just better overall. Right now, Drip Drop is offering podcast listeners 20% off your first order. Again, go to dripdrop.com and use promo code LOCKEDONNBA. That's dripdrop.com. Promo code LOCKEDONNBA for 20% off. Stock up now before the heat hits hard. And in Florida, it always hits hard. And keep your body and mind performing at their best with Drip Drop. Today's episode of Locked On Magic is also brought to you by our friends over at Wayfair. The holiday season is right around the corner, and that means it's time to get your home ready. Whether you need more seating for guests, cozy new linens, or fun serveware for holiday hosting, Wayfair's Black Friday sale is here to help you make your space shine. And the best part, you don't have to wait. Wayfair's Black Friday deals are happening all month long with up to 70% off everything from sofas to spatulas. You won't believe how easy everything is and how fast they're shipped just in time for the holidays. You can browse through the sites and find pieces that actually fit your style. There's nothing generic, just quality designs that feel personal. Don't miss out on early Black Friday deals. Head to wayfair.com now to shop Wayfair's Black Friday sale for up to 70% off. That's wayfair.com, WAYFAIR.com. Sale ends December 7th. Let's close here then, because we are just 12 games into the season. Like you said, like Magic probably haven't deployed everything they want to deploy. I would agree with you that you said earlier that this team definitely has started to measure its pace a little bit better to help its defense out. I do think they're playing not as breakneck because they saw that it was hurting their defense, and so they're setting their defense up for a little bit more success as well. Where do you want to see this Magic team evolve next over the course of the next, let's say, 15 games? Like, we're 12 games in, the next 12 games. Where does this team need to evolve next?
Yeah, well, it seems like Paolo will be out for a little bit of that. So forming an identity that kind of works, whether Paolo or Franz or Bane is in the lineup, is probably the first couple steps here. Finding those bench lineups with a little bit of continuity will work, because that's another thing where Coach Mosley says by committee, next man up, but I think even he values lineups that work together. Like, he's made that very clear. Like, if he has his group that works, like, they're the ones that are getting the first burn, and maybe from there the next man gets a chance. So, like, just fine tuning what the offense really is going forward for a couple, like your best ways to create shots going forward. What are those play types? What do they look like? And also, this is the worst Desmond Bane is going to shoot all season and probably his whole career while he's here. Like, he might have a month or two like
stretch
this.
Of his career. I think someone looked it up. It's his worst 12-game stretch of his career.
So, it felt like a hint of a Magic curse to start the season, but then it's completely gone with the Desmond Bane fadeaway shot. It was like the buzzer beater game winner set the Magic history. Like, I think that moment, like, kind of, not that there was pressure, but to me, that kind of like ripped the Band-Aid off of, like, we all are comfortable here with, there isn't some question mark of if this group is a good group of players. We just got to, like, fine tune the way we're going to play some basketball here.
Yeah, absolutely. I do agree. It definitely felt like, because, like, look, when you hit a buzzer beater, you feel like you're on top of the world. And like, I don't know how you feel, but I feel like if Orlando had closed that Atlanta game out, the second game of the season, if they didn't blow that lead, we would none of the like hand wringing, none of that would have happened. They would have been, they wouldn't have been like 7-1 or like, they wouldn't be like 10-2 right now. They would have lost some games. Like, these problems that they're having aren't going away. Like, they're going to turn the ball over a lot. They got to always be aware of that. They got to make sure the offense is still moving. Like, the offensive the rebounding's got to get a lot better. All these problems are not going away. Like, that's just going to be who this team is. They'll be better at it some nights. They'll be worse at it some nights. But these things will be low-lying throughout the course of the season. The shooting will still, it's better. I think it'll get better, but it's going to be a problem throughout the course of the season. But I feel like that game specifically, like, really cost them some confidence. And if they win that game, I don't think they lose to Chicago. All due respect to our friends with Locked On Bulls and the Chicago Bulls. I don't think they even lose to Philadelphia, to be perfectly honest. I think that game kind of hit their confidence, and they needed a win where it was just like, oh, we're here. We got swagger. We're, just feeling that joy again. Like, it isn't a slog. And, I feel like when you're becoming a contending team, like, the amount of pressure on being a contender is so different. Like, the night in, night out of just being excellent is so different. Like, 2 years ago when the Magic first started winning, it was fun. Like, there's nothing more fun than a team learning how to win for the first time. Like, everything is new. They're enjoying it. They're enjoying the work now. Last year was obviously injuries. It was hard to, like, learn much of anything. But, like, when you're a championship level team, you can't get bored with winning. You can't get bored with being excellent. You got to fight to be better, even if you're winning. Like, winning isn't good enough anymore. And that, I think, could be a really hard mindset and a really hard thing to learn. And so that loss to Atlanta specifically, again, not that the Magic thought this would be easy, but I feel like that was like this is a lot harder than we thought. Or, maybe things aren't so perfect. You start questioning things because it's a different thought process and it isn't clicking automatically. And so you have this moment where, like, this, like, singular moment where you just feel joy, and it's just like, oh, like, it changes the mindset of the team. Like it's amazing how different it felt Sunday night compared to Wednesday night. Like Sunday night, Jamal Mosley was yelling at us, and I've never seen Jamal Mosley yell at us like that.
Right.
In the media, I don't know what he did to the team, but he yelled at the media. I've never seen him that angry talking to the media. Wednesday night, it feels like the Magic could win a championship. Like I know they're 6-6, so we got a long way to go. Knicks are on the third game in 4 nights, second night of a back-to-back. Like it shouldn't be like this end-all be-all statement, but it just felt like okay, like things are going to be okay. Like they're figuring this out and they're pushing and moving forward. Let's take a quick break from our conversation and say a quick word from our friends over at DoorDash. The NBA season is heating up, and DoorDash has found the perfect way to keep fans in their bag all season long. Whether you're watching for the highlights, your fantasy team, or just your favorite player, DoorDash makes every game night even better. DoorDash is the official on-demand delivery platform of the NBA, and they're celebrating with something called the bag drop. Every time an NBA player scores 50 points in a game, like Nikola Jokic did on Wednesday, DoorDash drops 50% off your order with Dash Pass the next day. And you're automatically entered for a chance to win the ultimate fan bag. We're talking player-inspired drip, exclusive gear, and stuff you'll actually want. Not just food. You can get everything from snacks and drinks to headphones, ice, even socks, all delivered. DoorDash has you covered for late night highlights, last-minute watch parties, and double overtime fuel-ups. So next time someone goes off for 50, use promo code NBA50 the next day to get 50% off on DoorDash with Dash Pass. Plus, your shot at the bag drop. Dash Pass members only 50% off up to $10 the day after a 50-point game with promo code. Terms apply. No purchase necessary. Ends April 13th. Open to U.S. residents 21 or older. Visit DoorDashInYourBag.com for full details. DoorDash in your bag all season long. Today's episode of Locked On Magic is also brought to you by our friends over at FanDuel. The NBA is back, and there's no better place to get in on the action than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you missed the start of the game or want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. It keeps every game exciting, especially when your team is making that late push. With the Paolo Banchero news out, we don't have lines yet for Friday's game. I don't see lines for the big game, for every game on Friday yet. But with Paolo Banchero out, surely now is the time to believe the Orlando Magic can win the NBA Cup. Whether you're looking to bet on, on NBA Cup wins, where the Magic are now plus 1,800 to win the NBA Cup. They are still the favorites to win Group B at plus 160. You can get in on the action and put your money where your mouth is to support your favorite team. Right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So head to FanDuel.com to sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA.
Expectations just change everything. You know, the first couple of years, they're young and bubbly and energetic, and this new defense playing fast and forcing turnovers. And now they added a third potential all-star type of player with a massive deal, and everyone starts picking them to be the favorite in a wide open East, or at least be the not even Cinderella story, just the big story, the big leaping story in this. So, you know, that comes with expectations. And, you know, I think Jamal Mosley talked about that over the summer, had a great quote, that expectations are a good thing, but I don't want to butcher it, but he had a nice quote about it. But, you know, that you saw that with what you just said about how kind of the ups and downs of, you know, that on paper, man, this roster looks amazing. This is going to be an amazing group together. And then you go out and roll the ball out, and you remember, like, you still got to go play basketball. You still got to figure out all the little details of how you're going to play together. And that was their first game other than preseason, where they played really well in the preseason with just trying to play a little bit faster and a little more open. And I think those elements are key for any basketball team, but, you know, especially for them trying to run off turnovers. But the expectations change everything. And, you know, for all the Jamal Mosley critics out there, like, I think we just ran through, like, there's plenty of sets being run. Like, he's not calling plays, but he is also trying to build a system where like they can also call plays on the court when they see a matchup or a mismatch that's working, and they can just roll right into it. Like they don't necessarily have to check with the QB helmet every single time to make sure it's a good play. Like they trust each other on the court from the coaching staff. So when you build a few of those sets that work, you see the matchup, you call the play. You don't really have to think about it from that point. So I think there is a level of trust there that he's building as well. And ultimately, I think that while we get flashes of the pick and roll from Bane Banchero on the opening play, and then the Banchero Bane pick and pop against the Hawks a bunch of times, Franz and Wendell have been a connection their whole years here.
The Wagner Carter.
The Wagner Carter connection. Come on, there it is. That those are staples that can be this offense going forward, period. And we haven't even gotten to like the connective shooters of Suggs, De Silva, and Black from there, where you can also have them initiate or score some as well to fill out that lineup. So, the expectations changed everything. I think Jamal Mosley has not lost anything to do with the locker room. Like I think his message of daily development, like, is what sticks with these guys. And anytime you ask a player about him, they just rave about his energy and kind of that optimistic, smile and energy every time in a practice. And if you have good energy every day for, trying to improve and work on your weaknesses and do the same drills over and over, like they respect that and they connect for it. So I haven't seen anything of the sort of that. So I figured, might as well end with addressing a little bit of that, I haven't seen it. I don't really see it on the court. And if anything, I don't want to put it all on that shot, but like you really like describe the lows and highs of like the NBA is a tough business. And when there's a big enough fire, things can change and demands can happen quickly. And I think that type of shot is the thing that just silences the noise and lets this team really have a chance to kind of build itself now and see what we can do. And I'm excited to see it. Like I just want to see how good this offense can get with Bane shooting gravity off of everyone else. But I think it's also important for fans to realize that Bane views himself as an all-around team first player, an all-star scorer, a creator in the half court, like a hustle guy. He's doing chase, like he might not be like an everywhere defender like Suggs, but I think he like makes huge impact plays with hustle plays, like just last night, chasing down a fast break, swiping the ball, diving for a loose ball. They didn't get the ball, but he stopped the easy 2 points. And it's just little, like, stars don't normally make those plays, and he is. So he views himself as this all around, Anthony Black called him a dog after one of the press
He's about the right
conferences.
things.
Yeah, like a team guy. So he's just not like even though he is a 3-point sniper, he's not necessarily coming out with a J.R. Smith mentality, but I think somewhere in between is where everyone is kind of hoping for he lands, where it is a unconscious shot anytime he touches the ball. And if it's not there, then yeah, go create a better shot if you think it's out there.
Yeah, it is a long season. We're going to see where we're at a week from now, 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, a month from now. Long way to go. Ryan, where can everybody find your work? You do great stuff breaking down plays throughout the NBA. Where can people find your work if they want to learn a little bit more?
I appreciate you having me, Phil. Check out my writing on the team Orlando Magic coverage at Magic on SI. I've got a newsletter, YouTube channel, Twitter account at Beyond the RK, where you can find a lot of my general NBA coverage and data viz and breaking down different scouting reports and all that. And then Swish Theory is another website I write with, and where you can find the podcast, Learning Basketball, where we try to learn something new about basketball every episode and covering the Magic a little more consistently on there as well. So just keeping up with the team, doing some more on the scene reporting, just like yourself. And it's been cool just being a part of the process, getting to pick the brains of, the experts, the athletes that know it a whole lot more than I do.
Yeah,
and learn. Yeah. Right. So it's just cool to, keep learning new stuff about the game and just kind of share and help kind of tell the story and perspective of what these players are going through and learning about as they do it.
Yeah. Ryan, you do some great work. We'll definitely have you back on the show later on this year to continue breaking this down. Thanks for hopping on, and I'll see you at the Kia Center tomorrow.
I appreciate you having me, Phil. And happy to talk hoops anytime.
I want to thank Ryan once again for joining the show, helping us do a little bit more of a tactical breakdown into what the Orlando Magic are doing and what we're noticing about this team. As you can tell, things are evolving. This team is changing some things up. They are shifting around a little bit. They're finding themselves. And as they begin to settle down, they have started to show their talent and show their potential. And they're hitting on the right things. So definitely a good time to take a progress check on that. We'll check in progressively throughout the course of the season as well. So thanks, Ryan. Be sure to check out his work at Magic on SI, Beyond the Arcade, and all the fun places that he writes and talks about the Magic and the NBA as a whole. But that's going to do it for me today. I want to thank you all again for listening to today's episode of Locked On Magic. Of course, find me on Twitter at PhilipRR_OMD and on Blue Sky at PhilipRR. You can subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, Himalaya, Google Play, Spotify, Odyssey, and all the fun places you download podcasts to your podcast analyst device. You can find us as well on YouTube. Just search for Locked On Magic. For the latest on the Orlando Magic, be sure to check out OrlandoMagicDaily.com. You can find us on Twitter at OMagicDaily. And for even more Orlando Magic content, be sure to check out my Patreon page, the Orlando Magic Hub, at patreon.com/Orlando Magic Hub. As always, thank you for your support. Now that you're done listening to me and making Locked On Magic your first listen of the day, go check out the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast. Josh Lloyd hosts the #1 fantasy basketball podcast, giving you daily tips and helping you win your league, all while making you a smarter NBA fan. Find Locked On Fantasy Basketball on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts, all part of Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day. And once again, thank you so much for helping make the Locked On Podcast Network the #1 sports podcast network in the world. We truly appreciate all the listens and all the support. The Locked On Podcast Network is your team every day. But that's going to do it for me today. I want to thank you all again for listening to today's episode of Locked On Magic. We will be back tomorrow to recap the Orlando Magic's game against the Brooklyn Nets. NBA Cup game, baby. We love the Cup here at Locked On Magic. I hope you do too. We'll recap that game tomorrow. But until then, for Orlando Magic Daily and Locked On Magic, this has been Phil Prosper Knight. We'll see you all again next time for another episode of Locked On Magic.